So far, bounty hunters have been little explored in One Piece's history, and no powerful hunter has come to claim the prize for the Straw Hat's head. However, that's about to change because the greatest bounty hunter in One Piece has already appeared, and you haven't even noticed. Drug Peclo, the Emperor of the Underworld. If you want to know more about all this and much more, then stay with me, because that's what I'm going to show you. While rereading One Piece, a character caught my attention. He may be much more dangerous than we think, being the Emperor of the Underworld. Digging deeper, I found some really interesting things about him. The first thing I found, and I'll tell you now, is that as the Emperor of the Underworld, he does not tolerate one thing: you not having liked the video yet. So, if you don't want the Underworld gangsters after you, you'd better leave a like on the video. But now let's move on to the greatest bounty hunter in One Piece. In the world of One Piece, there is a secret society called the Underworld. Basically, the Underworld is the entire system of connections, smuggling, and shady deals that escape the control of the world government. According to Trafalgar Law's account, the Underworld could be compared to a massive-scale crime syndicate, gathering the most influential figures in the world. Furthermore, the Underworld is based on the principle of absolute secrecy, and all connections are shrouded in mystery. To ensure the anonymity of the participants, it is normal for them to use pseudonyms. Previously, it was said that the most influential man in the Underworld was Don Quixote da Flamingo, under the pseudonym Joker. However, with his defeat and imprisonment by the Marines, his connections to the Underworld were permanently severed. Currently, the most important figures in this system are known as the Emperors of the Underworld. Each one leads their specific activity. We can see the Emperors of the Underworld for the first time on Whole Cake Island when they were all invited by Yonka Big Mom to Sanji and Pudding's wedding. The first is Dufeld, known as the God of Fortune, and his involvement in the Underworld is mainly in funding scientific research, often dangerous and unethical. Dufeld was the main financier of the MADS, an illegal scientific research institute led by Vegapunk, which was active at least 24 years ago. The MADS, despite theoretically being a group that conducted experiments for world peace, as Vegapunk desired, in practice, it wasn't quite like that, with Caesar Clown, Vinsmoke Judge, and Queen only concerned with creating weapons of destruction, which gives us an idea of the real reason Dufeld funded the group. The next Underworld Emperor we had more information about was Big News Morgans. Morgans is the president of the Road Economy newspaper, the main newspaper distributor in the world of One Piece. By being part of the Underworld, he has information that is not common knowledge, always being the first to report to the world the major events of the moment. Recently, we also had more information about Stussy, another Underworld Empress. Stussy has the codename Queen of the Pleasure District, which means she commands and organizes all these nighttime districts. Additionally, we found out that Stussy is a clone made by Dr. Vegapunk of Miss Buckingham. Stussy is a former member of the Rocks Pirates and even worked undercover in the CP0 to pass information from within the world government directly to Dr. Vegapunk. There are only 3 Underworld Emperors left in the series who are still relatively unexplored, but it's likely that at least one of them, like Drug Peclo, will gain prominence in the future. Drug Peclo stands out as a possible assassin, kidnapper, and the most powerful bounty hunter in the world. Despite his facade as a funeral agent, his connection to the Underworld suggests a bloody history, raising suspicions about his true activities, possibly involving life-for-money negotiations, similar to a hard killer. He could easily conceal his activities in his funeral home. After all, he works with corpses and no one would suspect lifeless bodies around there. Additionally, there is a kanji in his name that means death, and he carries a giant scythe, resembling the legends of Grim Reapers or even death itself. Therefore, I believe that Drug Peclo is actually a bounty hunter, seeking to capture those who have bounties on their heads to reclaim their money or accepting payments to pursue any victim. This suggests an organization focused on hunting people. Another piece of evidence is the number 495 on his coat. I was intrigued by its meaning and, upon analyzing Chapter 495 of One Piece, I found something surprising. This chapter introduces Duval, who was also part of the Underworld and was involved in kidnappings. And that's where I realized the connection. Drug Peclo may indeed be the leader of the bounty hunters. And, as shown in another chapter, even among bounty hunters, there is a hierarchy, with Drug Peclo at the top. His scythe and sinister appearance suggests that he is a skilled fighter and a possible future adversary of Zoro. Considering the series' pattern of gradually developing each Underworld Emperor, we will soon reach the moment to learn more about Drug Peclo. Therefore, he may prove to be the most powerful bounty hunter in One Piece.